everyone, my name is Loredana, the little high heel chef, for obvious reasons. I finally decided to put this food YouTube show together because I've been encouraged by friends, family, ex-bosses, ex-colleagues, because they know I'm passionate and they know that this makes me happy to cook for others and share love. So for today, I've decided to show you how to work with bought pizza dough and how to make a homemade focaccia, and how to manipulate both doughs to get the best results. So let me put on my apron and get started. Of course, they're lemons, because I don't know if you noticed, I really like lemons. When life gives you lemons, you make focaccia. To begin, I'm gonna show you all how to work with a bought pizza dough and the pizza doughs at their different stages. And don't be embarrassed if you buy pizza dough. You're no less of a chef because you bought pizza dough. The results are just as good as long as you know how to work with them. This is how I get it when I go to my Italian grocery store. It's semi-frozen or frozen. This is what it's like at the beginning stages. This is what the pizza dough is like after it's thawed from the refrigerator on the counter for about 4 or 5 hours. So it's almost ready to be let out of its bag. And this is when it's about to give birth. This one's ready to pop. So this is the dough we're gonna work with today. Now that this dough has been defrosted, has been resting on the counter, pop them open, take them out of the plastic bag, and drizzle my pan with oil. The amount of oil that I go through, guys, you have no idea. People say, what are you doing buying 5 liters of olive oil? What are you gonna do? It's gonna last a month, if I'm lucky. Now that my pan is nice and oily, I let out this bought pizza dough. I kind of just stretch it out a little bit. I turn it over so it's oiled on both sides. And this is gonna need a little bit of rest. I would say for about an hour, hour and a half. This is what the pizza dough looks like after 40, 45 minutes. As time goes on, you need to kind of help it out. It's still a little tight. You need to loosen up the gluten. In doing so, I stretch it with my fingers. Now it's a little more rested. As you can see, I was able to stretch it, but she's not there yet. This dough is going back to rest a little bit. And now she's ready for some love. This dough being thinner, we're gonna use fresh garlic that I chopped up earlier. Because it's a flatter dough, you can use raw garlic. The reason why I don't use raw garlic on a focaccia is because the focaccia takes longer to cook. And if you use raw garlic, your garlic will burn. And do you know what happens to raw garlic that burns? It's bitter. It will ruin your focaccia. I learned that through trial and error. So rosemary, because I love me some rosemary. And when I have my garden in the summertime, I use my fresh rosemary. So I kind of alternate. Peperoncino, hot pepper flakes. If you like them, put them. If you don't like them, don't put them. But I put them because I like me some heat. So we're gonna do that. And of course, kosher salt. So the oven is now hit the right temperature. It's at 435. This baby's ready to go in the oven. And it's 10 minutes, and then I check, and maybe it needs 12. So it depends on your oven. See you in 10 minutes. Set the timer, people. Okay, 11 minutes have passed. She smells incredible. If only you were here to smell this. And maybe one day, if you're lucky, I'll invite you over and you can try it for yourself and smell it for yourself. Wouldn't that be great? It's perfectly cooked. It's nice and golden. There we go. So this one is ready to go. In a saucepan, I have about half a cup of peeled garlic cloves. Added oil just to cover the garlic, which is maybe about 3/4 of a cup of olive oil. This is gonna cook on simmer for about an hour until it gets creamy and jammy and sweet and nutty. While this is cooking on a simmer, I'm gonna show you how to make this really simple and fun focaccia dough. I've already pre-measured out 500 grams of white bread flour. The higher the protein in the flour, the better result in your pizza dough. It's gonna be fluffier, airier. It's just a better choice. And here I put 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. I am a fan of kosher salt. I Always use it. It brings out flavor rather than make things salty. So my flour's got just the salt in it. I'm gonna put that aside and we're gonna work on the yeast. What you need, 400 milliliters of water. Sometimes the flour needs more water, sometimes it needs less. Your best indicator is the texture from your hands. Believe me, I've practiced this, I don't know how many times. I think my kids are fed up of eating pizza. Actually, it's not true, they're never fed up. I always use a weights measure rather than a cup measure because it's a lot more accurate when it comes to baking. So I'm gonna get about 400 milliliters of lukewarm water between 100 to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Not much cooler and not much hotter than that because it'll kill the yeast and the yeast will not grow. So you gotta find that sweet spot. Now that we have the warm water, and I'm gonna check the temperature for this. Beautiful, 400 on the nose. What a talent. And the temperature's 103.8, which is perfect. To that warm water, you add your 1.5 teaspoons of yeast. Okay, mix that up. And you want your honey. Your honey activates, sweet activates the yeast. When I was a kid, my mom was so funny. When people would come over unexpectedly, she says, okay, give me 5 minutes. I'm gonna make a fast pizza. She actually made pizza in 5 minutes. I'm not there yet, it takes me hours, but that's what I'm aspiring to do, is be able to make a pizza. Just give me 5 minutes, I'll make you a quick pizza. Thought I was obsessed with food, but my mom was by far worse than I. When I was pregnant with my first son, my mom would make sure I had food. And one day she was on her way to my house while I was like 7-8 months pregnant, and she was bringing me lasagna and pizza, because of course, God forbid I didn't eat, right? I only gained 80 pounds in pregnancy. On her way to me, she had a car accident. And of course, there was no cell phones, there was no way for me to know. You know how I found out? I had a person at my door, someone I didn't know, with 2 pans in their hands. They advised me, by the way, don't be frightened, your mom is fine. She just had a car accident. She flagged me down before she got into the ambulance to tell me to bring you food. I blame my 80-pound gain on my mom, but I love her. The yeast is being activated by the sugar. I added the tablespoon of olive oil. This is gonna be added to the flour, and then the magic begins. So we add it, and we mix her up. This is fun. This is why this is great to do with your kids or grandkids. In my case, it's grandkids now. I know I don't look old enough to have grandkids, but I do. Try to make myself feel better about getting older. Here we go, we're just mixing it up until it gets combined. And if you feel that the texture is a little bit hard, like, oh my God, it's not coming together, give it a minute. And if you want it a little softer, there's nothing wrong with adding a little drop. Ah, see? Now, this is what you want. Something kind of goopy, almost looks like plaster. But that's okay, sticky is good. When I first learned how to make pizza with my mom, like, Mom, this is too sticky. And I'd add flour and add flour and add flour, and then it was like a rock. And she says, no, you have to, it's gotta be soft. This is the only time you want it soft. So this is the result. It's nice and goopy. We're gonna let this guy rest for 15 minutes. So now what are we at with the hopefully garlic, what, 20 minutes or so? It is starting to break down the garlic. It smells incredible. Unfortunately, there's no smell-o-vision. Garlic is my perfume. So let me tell you, if I could wear this, I would. And we're gonna come back to it in about another half hour. After 15 minutes of rest, we have to do a stretch and pull. I'd say stretch and pull about 8 times. I'll show you what I do. I wet my fingers, kind of bring it over from one side to the other. I'll do that about 8 times. You're gonna see that the dough is gonna come together more and more into a ball. We're gonna let them rest a little bit for 15 more minutes, and we'll come back and do another stretch and pull. After the second 15-minute rest, we do another bend and stretch. Bend and stretch? I meant pull and stretch. There's a lot more structure in the dough now. It's smoother. It's coming away from the sides of the bowl a lot easier. So after about 8 pull and stretches. Look at the structure. This is gonna rest on the side now for an hour to an hour and a half. And now I'm gonna show you what the confit garlic looks like. The house smells fantastic. See, now all the garlics have kind of broken down and they're soft and jam-like. For me, this is done. So I'm gonna put this aside. I'm gonna leave it uncovered. I'm gonna let that cool. We don't want it too hot, right? You don't want it to affect your dough. We are at almost the last stage of the focaccia dough. So at this point, it's rested, I would say, an hour and a half. Look how beautiful, look at the jiggle. So before we put it in the pan, we need to oil it up. Don't be shy with the oil. Pizza dough loves oil, especially a focaccia. Take the dough out of the bowl and it comes out so easily. So at this stage, we just want to fold it inward, one side, fold it inward on the other, okay? And flip it over like a baby. We put a piece of parchment paper that you oil so it doesn't stick onto the pizza dough, and this is gonna rest for an hour. If anybody's asking, this is the best invention ever. So you can spray, you can drizzle. I got this on Amazon, I think. It was a pack of 2. I love it because it's glass and it's better for your olive oil. You don't want plastic when you have your olive oil stored. Our focaccia dough is finished its last resting stage. So look at how beautiful she is. She is ready to be dressed, flavored, and loved. This is what I think is the perfect dressing of a homemade focaccia. How's that look? Looks good, eh? So it's going into the 435-degree oven for anywhere between 12 and 15 minutes. So this is our beautiful focaccia after 12 minutes in the oven at 435. She smells amazing. She's bubbly and the jiggle's gone because she's cooked, but she's ready. This is the homemade focaccia. You see, it's almost like a cake texture. It's fluffy and light. This is a little flatter, still delicious, still really flavorful. But you have 2 different versions, homemade and store-bought. All this to say, they're both great. You can make a red pizza with this as well, fresh tomatoes and mozzarella as you wish. But this is what we did today, and we're going to devour this with a lovely glass of wine, and we're gonna open up a little caciocavallo, have some cheese on the side. This is when your family hooks you up. I'm very grateful, I'm very happy, and I'm thankful for all those who support me and who've supported me in the past. I'm doing this because of all my friends and all the encouragement I've had over the years. So thank you again. Come back and see me. I'll surprise you with some family secrets, and maybe I'll introduce you to some of my friends. Enjoy and try the pizzas. I highly recommend it. Ciao. Yes. Yes. Pizza guns. I don't know. Let's go pizza. 1 more hour. Okay, I'm gonna wink on instinct. I can't wink on that. You have it, but